use that ViewChild. So ViewChild is again a part of that component interaction. Okay. The purpose of ViewChild is we can use in a two way, basically. ViewChild. First, why, how to use or what is the purpose to use a ViewChild, and on what functionality we can implement with the help of that ViewChild. From the ViewChild, you can directly access your parent HTML element in your parent component file. Okay, with the help of ViewChild. Because instead of that, if you want to access any HTML element, we can make it as a template reference variable, and on a button click, we send that template reference variable with the help of event binding. Correct? Right now, we can learn these things. If you want to pass that any HTML element handle or reference on the button click, we can send it that full JSON object or full handle of that particular HTML element to your component file. But such scenario is there. I don't want to create any button. I want to access directly that HTML element in your component file. Okay. For that, we can use ViewChild as well. For that, you can access or we can use a ViewChild. Okay. There's a many more approaches there. These are one of the approach for that ViewChild. You can directly access your parent HTML element to your parent component file. That is a TS file. Okay, these are one of the approach, one of the usage of that ViewChild. Second, you can access child property as well as child method in your parent component file. Okay, with the help of ViewChild. If you want to access a child property or child method and to process a logic on the parent side, then you can use a ViewChild. Means some scenarios there, I want to not process any logic on child component. Okay, means logic should be handled by the parent. Then child only rendering a purpose. Child child only use for the rendering purpose. Whatever the data should be rendered dynamically according to the logic. The parent will be handle that logic and give the data to the child and render the data to the end user. So in that case, we use a ViewChild for that purpose as well. Okay. So in two way, we can use a ViewChild. In Angular 8 version, Angular 8.9 version, ViewChild is also present, but it is some update is available in Angular 12, Angular 10, 11, 12 version. Okay, so we can directly learn the updates in Angular 12 version. Okay, what will the in the previous version ViewChild is using that also mentioned, but it is updated in Angular 11, 12, or 10. Okay, so we will see at the rate ViewChild. For that, we can create one parent component. Okay, I am not be creating that concept in already created the parent. Okay, I just create the one more parent and one more child for discuss this concept. So I'm creating the ngGC parent one. We create a separate parent and separate child. So now one more I want to create the child 3, child 1, child 2. We can create the child 3. ngGC child 3. So we can create the child 3 as well. First, we can map your parent 1 component. Okay. So that parent one component, you can map that selector name, copy that selector name and map in your app component HTML file. Here we can map that parent here. Okay. And in parent component, we can map our child component here, but that will be later. First, we can understand the concept. That is first way you can access directly access parent HTML in your parent component file. Okay. First, we can understand how we can use that things, and then we go for that second approach, means second things with the help of ViewChild. So for that, in a parent component, parent one component view file, I'm just creating one div. In that div, I can just mention a paragraph tag and just here mention I am accessing HTML element, okay, using ViewChild. Okay, now we can just mention that statement. If you want to access that HTML element, for example, I want to access that div. Okay, so you can access that div, or we have to create a template reference variable. Okay, without template reference variable, we cannot be access that HTML element. Okay, so first we create the template reference variable. That is, for example, I created div HTML element. Div element. We can mention the template reference variable div element. Okay, now access that div element in our parent component file directly. I don't use any button click to send that template reference variable with the help of that event binding or a button. I just directly access. So for that, we can create here use @ViewChild. @ViewChild. That ViewChild is already present @Angular/core packages. Okay, that ViewChild is imported. Okay, just more 1 minute. Sorry. Okay. Every time I have to get interrupt. Sorry for that. Okay, @ViewChild. We use a ViewChild. That ViewChild is present in your present in your @Angular/core packages. Okay. When we create a ViewChild, you have to mention what HTML element you have to access. Means which element you have to access. Okay? You have to mention that open close brackets. It is basically it is a decorator. Okay, @ViewChild is a decorator. It is a method. For that method, we have to pass which element you have to access. So we have to make it as in single quote and mention your template reference variable name. Whatever the template reference variable is, div element. You have to mention that template reference variable, div element. Then you can here mention your property. Create here your own property. For example, I'm creating the my div. Okay, my div as a property name, and we have to mention its type of that my div property. I have to mention the types because here ViewChild is giving the access to me div element of that HTML element. So you have to mention your HTML element. For that, Angular gives any HTML element you have to access in your component file. Make the type element ref. Okay, you can make the type of that HTML element ref. That element ref already present in your @Angular/core package. Okay, Then if you have to make it as a not null, that my div is not null, so we use a uh, exclamatory mark for that purpose. Okay. Then and there is ViewChild. Okay, here I mentioned that div element. Okay, fine. The name is correct. I thought that name is wrong. Okay, div element. Now I just want to access that element in your component file. Okay. If I want to access that element in our ng on init, okay, what will be output we will see here? What actually we get the output, or what exactly get my div in that my div. Okay, so we just console.log and we can just display that. Sorry, this dot my div, this dot my div. Okay, and check what exactly it has. We can inspect console. It give me undefined. Okay, means we can access that HTML element in our ng on init method. Okay, ng on init method is again one of the life cycle hook of a component. Okay, so it gives me undefined. Why it is giving me undefined? What exactly it has happened? So when your component is loading, okay, when your component is loading, first component constructor will is called. Okay? First time your component constructor is called. After that component constructor, ng on init method is invoked. Okay. Still, while invoking this constructor and ng on init method, still your view file, means your HTML file, is not rendering your data or HTML elements. And before the rendering, you can access that HTML element in your ng on init. So that's why it gives undefined, because it doesn't understand what exactly it has, because your view is not rendering up to that line of code. Okay, because still it is in process. So it gives you the undefined value of that my do. So Angular gives the solution for this, because if ng on it perform an initial level logic, if you want to render something, first it collect all the data. After collecting all the data, it will render that things. So the ng on it. And before you rendering before that data, you can access that HTML element in ng on it. So it not be possible. Okay, it gives a undefined of that my div, because every variable has default values undefined. We learn in the Typescript. So it's display our undefined as a default value. So for that, Angular gives the solution for that. You can implement one more interface. That interface is called after view init. After view init. Okay. After view init is meaning of, first you are initialize the constructor, then initialize the ng on init. Whatever the data is required, initially it can fetch it. And after that, your view is initialized properly. Then you can access that HTML element in that after view init method. That is an interface that provide one more method. We have to implement that method. You can quick fix and implement that method ng after view init. Okay. Again, ng after view init is the one of the lifecycle hook of a component. Okay. When it is invoked after the ng on init, if you are using ViewChild, then ng after view init is invoked. If you are not using ViewChild and we mention the ng after view init, so there is no use of that. Okay, so first your constructor is invoked. After that, your ng on init is invoked, then ng after view init is invoked. The name implies after view init. Okay, means your view is initialized properly, then and then you can access that view in your component file. Okay, so it is called ng after view init. Now in ng after view init, you can access that stable element. What will the output we can see here? Okay, same console.log and this dot my do. Now I will check that what exactly it is given. We can refresh it. See here, if ng on it, we get undefined. After that, we can console.log in after view init, it will give element ref. Element ref is a JSON object where that we mentioned that type in our component file. That element ref has one one key, that is a native element. Native element means your HTML element. Okay, that native, we call it as a native element, and that native element is a div. In that native element, there is full access of that HTML element. You can get the full access. If you want to change the behavioral of that HTML element, you can. If you want to access that data, you can access that data. If you want to change the dynamically, change the data dynamically, you can change it data dynamically directly with the help of that native element. Okay, in that native element, there is a lot of keys are present. Same, like we can see that keys also in the dollar event also. Same as it is functionality here on the template reference variable. We can access it in your component file. Inside that, if you want to access inner HTML, if you want to access the data as well, you can mention it. Okay. If you have to change the behavioral, you can change the behavioral as well. Okay. So we perform some simple operation on that. See here. Here we can get the now data access, or we can change the behavior also of that HTML element. So I just make this dot my div dot native element. First, we have to use that key that is the native element. On that native element, you can access, if you want to access the, or you can change the its behavioral style, background, or you can apply dynamically style sheet. You have to apply here, you can apply here. Okay, for that we can use a style. For example, we can set the background. Okay, and we can set the background color is style. Okay, I think the okay. Now we check whether it is changing its background color or not. Here, you can change the background color as well. If you want to apply a dynamic class, you have to apply. You can apply the dynamic class as well. Okay, whatever you want to apply, you can apply, or whatever you want to perform. You have to access that data as well. You can access that data as well. Okay, you can access dot value, or you can access dot inner HTML to get the data as well from that HTML element.